Welcome to another episode of the Challenge TBR Pile. For this vlog specifically, I will be reading the Young Elites trilogy, which obviously features the Young Elites, the Rose Society, and the Midnight Star. There will be trigger warnings in the description box if you're so inclined to check them out. I did start rereading the Young Elites because out of the entire trilogy, this is the only one that I was able to read to its entirety. I was only able to get 7 pages of the way through it, but I hope that you'll enjoy the video. Apologies for not really updating about the Young Elites for a hot minute. I've just been going through hell and back with my mental health. Apologies. But I am 64 odd pages into it, and I completely forgot that she was 16 years old in the book. It should have been common knowledge. I just wasn't paying much attention to it at the time when I was reading it. Like I said, I'm 63 odd pages into it. With the assistance of the audiobook, I am 40% of the way through the Young Elites, and honestly, I'm realizing so many things when rereading it. The biggest of them being that the folks that essentially created the Young Elites could potentially be, like amongst other things, be representing a variety of marginalized communities like the people of color, disabled, so on and so forth. This is just stuff that I'm personally noticing, especially as a queer and disabled individual. I don't expect anyone else to agree with it. Kind of going off of that, I've noticed that Raffaele could potentially be queer of some kind, whether it's asexuality, pansexuality, or bisexuality. I don't want to confirm or deny that. I could be way off base, but that's just, like I said, these are just small things that I've noticed. Let me know if y'all agree or disagree with me about it.
I tried to remember the way she used to braid my hair, the way she'd sleep in my chambers during a thunderstorm. I can only nod. The sound of commotion in the streets above us breaks through my thoughts. The bells at the Inquisition Tower are tolling. Taryn must be getting ready to deliver a speech. We both listen for a while, trying to catch words from above ground, but we can't hear anything properly. Only the bells and sounds of hundreds of muffled footsteps. Something big is happening. I say. Then I motion for us to get up. We have to get to higher ground if we want to find out what's going on. This way. I lead us farther down the catacomb tunnel until it branches off into 3 narrow corridors. I pick the left one. When we've walked, we're embedded into the stone. My hand finds the rough gem in the wood. My energy stops right before it. Adelina, he says, turning. The look in his eyes threatens to break me. I loved him too. Then he leaves me, and I am truly alone. I pledge myself to the Rose Society until the end of my days, to use my eyes to see all that happens, my tongue to woo others to our side, my ears to hear every secret, my hands to crush my enemies. I will do everything in my power to destroy all who stand in my way. The Rose Society Official Initiation Pledge by Adelina Amuteru. Adelina Amuteru. Night has fallen and it is quiet again. Out in the estate gardens, a few candles flicker in mourning for Enzo. I don't know where the other daggers are. Perhaps they've long ago left this place. Perhaps they've fled to the Skylands, where Beltane might give them shelter. Tomorrow morning, things will be different. The uprising has been crushed. Giulietta will rule as Queen of Canetra, and Terran will bring his wrath down on all malfettos. Enzo's supporters have gone into hiding to lick their wounds. Violetta and I will flee Estenzia. Where we'll go, I'm not sure. I'll settle in another port capital, perhaps, one far from here. Maybe I'll start my own society to strike back against Terran. Maybe we'll run across other young elites. The daggers can't be the only ones. I sit before the mirror of my vanity in my chamber, leaning weakly against my chair. My chest wound hurts every time I breathe. The knife tucked into my boot is my only remaining weapon, and now I take it out and set it on the vanity's surface, its point facing me. Through the window, I can see the dark blue silhouettes of the estate gardens. Enzo walks down there, gliding through the grass surrounding the main fountains. His sapphire robes trail behind him. I know he's not real, that it's only another vision that I cannot control. Everyone will talk.
So I have 10 minutes, if not less than that, before a therapy appointment. But I just wanted to update y'all about completing the Young Elites last night. I was not expecting Raffaele to kick Adelina out their group. And I noticed that there was only quotes for Adelina's parts and not so much the other perspectives, if you know what I mean. I wasn't expecting a princess of another kingdom to be as involved as she was and know Enzo and all that prior to him passing away, essentially. So, who knows? Part of me also would not be surprised if Adelina fell in love with Terran. I could be way off base, especially in this book. She did kill 3 people. Her father, Enzo, Dante. And she was mentally not in a great place because of it. Would not be surprised if they reconnected and then fell in love with each other. I don't know why. Something about that. Reading this inspired me to start listening to the audiobook of this. It's a historical fantasy. If I'm getting my genres correct, I'm going to listen to the audiobook of this. I'm not going to go into much spoilers. But I was able to start the Rose Society. And I would not be surprised if she started her own little clan. Near the end of this, it did mention that she was going to start her own thing, so I wouldn't be surprised if she just started her own thing, essentially. Especially since both her and her sister have powers, essentially. So, long story short, I am not gonna continue reading the Young Leads trilogy as a whole. What would have helped me out was if my local library had all 3 of the books as an audiobook so I could read them when I actually have the time to do so. This is absolutely nothing against Marie Lu. The writing, from what I could tell, is beautifully written. It just, for whatever reason, didn't click. I am most likely going to get rid of all 3 of the books. I'm going to see you in Larbidy sometime soon. Hope y'all enjoyed the vlog.